Everybody come around, come around, come around. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk.
Yes, guys, let's talk the talk. Hello,
Absolutely.
beautiful TDS family. As always, this is your girl, Talkative Maskey. And with me on the other side, as always, is the beautiful Talkative
Viv. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? It's another day in the land of the living, and we are so thankful for it. We're always grateful for you to join us. And today we
Yes,
want
sir.
to take our time to analyze our survey questions. You know, we have heard your opinions. People have won prizes and all that. We also want to put in our 2 cents, our 2 kobo inside it.
Yes, yes.
So if I see the question, I'll be able to read it out, then we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we are
Before you
always
do-
here to do what, Maskey? To talk.
I said before
the talk.
you I need to talk now. If I don't talk, I need to talk. If it will be pinching me, talk. So let me talk. Guys, I think what we are thinking to do, or what we think we should do is, we will try to, any survey question we put up here, after you guys have done, the survey and the winners have won, we'll still try to analyze those questions, talk about them. As as the survey goes on, we'll do it, we'll try to do as much as we can, all the questions, even the one on Instagram, we'll just talk about, so that we'll all learn from, each other. You know how it is, everybody needs to be on the same train. Abi,
Nobody gets left behind. We all carry
at
ourselves
all,
along.
at all.
Yeah.
So, Talkative Viv, let's go.
At this juncture, I'd like to read the question, which says, if given an opportunity to go back in time or years and change a thing in your life, what would you change? Okay. And we want to start by analyzing the answers that we got, first of all. Then we will take it from there. So the first answer is...
Let's have the answer on the screen.
Yeah. So Rosalind Roland, one of the winners of our very first survey, she said, if I'm given an opportunity to go back to 10 years to change a thing in my life, which is not possible, I wouldn't have changed anything. My past is my past. I've made a lot of mistakes. My past shaped me. I've fallen and risen again, which is part of my journey in life. I now focus on the future. Everything I was unable to achieve then is still much available now if I work harder and with the help of God. Talkative Duo series. Talkative Maskey.
This answer, honestly, that's probably one of the reasons why she won. I like her answer, sort of. You know what I like about it? She understands that in life, falling is not the issue. The problem is what you do after you fail. After you've fallen, what do you do with it? Do you say, okay, I don't fall now, make I just stay there where I fall?
Make I remain there.
Where I just be last day? Or do you get up and keep moving? So but I don't know what you think, Viv, but that's, I like that about her answer. Falling is not the issue, but what do you do after you fell, after you've fallen?
Yeah. I'm also happy with the fact that she doesn't dwell on the past. she's like, okay, stuff has happened. Can we move on from here? And then she's making sure she's learning lessons off of her failures, off of
Whatever
her
happened,
faults. She's taking in the lessons and using them as a stepping stone to move to the next level, which is such a beautiful
level.
thing. So yes, I think her answer is one of those well, you can call it deep answers, one of those deep
Exactly. That you
answers.
took the
Yeah, she
word
has,
out of my mouth.
yeah,
That
she
answer is
actually
very
has
deep.
depth. And
Yeah,
you can see
because
that she
no, go
answers,
ahead.
she answered from her heart. It wasn't an AI assisted answer. You can see it
Answer.
even with her
Yeah,
typos and all that. You could see all that, which is such
yeah,
an amazing thing, which is what we're looking for though.
yeah,
That
yeah.
people will answer from their heart. And like Maskey will always say, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay.
Answer. There's no right or wrong. The thing she said, in as much as it's not like you can say, if I had the opportunity, yes, I could have changed some things. Yes. But the fact is, she understands that she can't go back to those things. Right or wrong. You can't go back to the past. So what do you do with the lessons you learned from the past, the mistakes you made? Because the issue is not making a mistake. The issue is making that same mistake several times or more than once. We've
Like
all had, yeah.
doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result.
You see, it brings us down to that statement I always make. You understand? Because falling is not the issue, like I said. It's what do you do after you fell or after you have fallen? Either way. What did you do with the things that happened to you? Did you learn from them? Did you allow them to break you or to make? Everybody has a story. Everybody,
Absolutely.
including me. Everybody has a
Everybody.
story. You understand? So
Everybody.
when that story, when life happens to you, what do you do with it? Like
What
they
do you do?
always say, life may throw lemons at you. Make a lemonade out of it. Do you make a lemonade or you sit down and start crying? Why is it me that life not throw this
Why
lemonade?
would I get lemon?
Oh, my family people, my village, You
Make lemonade
understand?
or lemon tart. Anyone that comes to
Whatever
you,
works
make
for
it.
you, make
Yeah,
it.
make
If
it. Keep
not
going.
to use the grate the skin of the lemon and use it to make all these lemon seasonings that they use. That's what they use that they make for meals. That's what they use the skin. So if not that
Yeah.
one, use and make them or use the
Whatever.
lemon.
Once the
Make sure
important
you
thing
use
is
the
that
lemon.
you are doing something with the lemon. There's
That
this little quote that I know. It says, if you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But for crying out loud, keep
keep
moving. Never
moving.
stop.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So
This is,
that's a very interesting answer. Honestly, I really like
yeah.
her. The way her mind. You know me now, Viv. One thing I always like. I want to get into your head and know how you're thinking. Because it's how you're thinking that makes the things you're doing and your reaction to things, and that makes a lot of things out. And that's how we know your mindset, how you're
Absolutely.
thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we are thankful for that answer. It was a beautiful answer. But on your own, really, Maskey, what do you think? What would you change if you had to go back 10 years or some years back, whatever? If ever there's that kind of opportunity, what would you change?
Okay, what I would have changed, let me give you this answer straight. I try so much not to lie in whatever I do. I want to be very open. I will have changed two things. I will have been more serious as a student than back then. I would have been more serious. Not I went to school, of course, I passed out, but maybe if I had been more serious, because I'm not gonna like blow my trumpet. I think I'm averagely book smart. I would have probably done better for myself. You understand? Yeah, I'll have probably done better for myself. Coming here, living here, I see that if I had done certain things then, it would have been easier for me when I got here. But then I just took life like, as a young person now, nothing they happen. No, they have to take them step by step. But I would have been more serious about certain things. I'm more intentional about some
More
decisions I took.
intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
but like but let me finish. But like her answer says, what did I do with it? You see, when I realized that I've
Mm,
made these mistakes, they have happened, and I can't go back
mm,
in time. What did I now do? I was able to, repackage myself and do some things, take some decisions. They may have been hard, but I took those decisions. I worked at it. I like struggled out of it and was still able to make lemons. You know, yeah, because it's not like we don't blow trumpets, but it's not easy for you to come to this country, start afresh, go back to school, go. It takes a lot of determination. You know how it is. So I was still
absolutely.
able to struggle through it. So that's why the answer resonates with me. You
Mm-hmm.
see why the answer, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
she's talking about me.
absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. I
Let me
understand
hear your
that
own. Let me hear your own opinion on that answer too. Let me know what you think. Yes.
is
So
basically if I ever had a chance to go back in time, I will be more intentional about probably the relationships I chose, both, on both parts, because whether you like it or not, your relationships can make or mar you as a human being. You
exactly.
understand? So if I had a chance, there are relationships that I fostered in my life that I probably shouldn't have fostered. But again, back to Rosalind's answer, what are you doing with the lemonade that life has thrown at you? I'm trying as much as possible to not dwell in regret or feeling bad and all of that. It's
Mhm.
about moving on and growing
Making the
from
best out
whatever
of
it
it.
is that has happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we go to the second. I think at this point we should go to the second one, the second
Yeah,
answer.
let's talk about the second. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So let's have the second answer, please.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, Diamond Chidima said, if I'm given the opportunity to go back and change a thing in my life, I will change the way I care for other people before myself, because I have learned that my happiness is an important thing to my life. Hallelujah to that.
That's another
You know,
interesting answer. That's very
Dr. Maskey, you always say, love yourself. This is almost your side, almost always your signing off thing. And that is what this lady is putting out
putting
there.
it down.
Love yourself enough. It's not a bad thing to love other people, but putting other people above you is not acceptable.
Is an error.
Even the Bible said, love your neighbor as
As
yourself.
you love. So which means you recognize it, you should love
You are
yourself
meant
first.
to love yourself, not to love others
Then
above yourself. Say as yourself. So
yourself.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Maskey.
Already you said it all. Love yourself as love your neighbor as you love yourself, which means you should love yourself first. You understand? So
Yeah,
that as you love yourself means is the level at which you love yourself that will determine if you can love your neighbor. That's
you
why I
see?
always say you have to love yourself. Yeah, of course. If you don't love yourself well, you can't love your neighbor well. That's why we have a lot of issues going on now. That's why there's a lot of selfishness. Because if you love yourself enough, check out now, if you pour yourself fire, can you
Mba.
take fire and pour on yourself? So if
Mm-mm.
you love yourself enough not to pour that fire, and now love your neighbor as you love yourself, you'll not be able to pour that fire on your neighbor because you can't pour
Absolutely.
it on yourself. You see why I keep
Mm.
saying love yourself? If you're able to love yourself enough, you love people naturally. You now know
Yeah,
how to love people because loving yourself helps you not to do some things, take decisions that may affect you as a person because you want to, please somebody. So when you now love yourself enough and you're able to take it helps you to take the right decisions because you have enough self-love going on. That way you now know that there's some things you will do that will hurt somebody. And because you know how it feels to be hurt, you don't want to hurt somebody. You get where I'm
true
going
that.
with it.
True
So
that.
that's why it's important. And there's another thing I took note of in that answer. She said she didn't say she was now going to stop caring for people. No, she made it
Mm.
clear that no, just not to care for them more than she cares for herself.
For herself, exactly. because it is not even would I say it's not even biblically, since we're Christians, right, for you to love somebody more than you love yourself.
You love
That
yourself.
was not the injunction. The injunction is love your neighbor as yourself.
You love
So as
yourself.
yourself is very important in that quotation, but sometimes people
You don't
ignore
look at
that
it.
and keep
Yeah.
loving and loving and loving, and thinking that it's the more you give to others that they give to you. It doesn't work that way,
Doesn't
you
work
know.
that way.
So you have to be able to, whatever you want to give to somebody, you would have gifted yourself to
First,
an extent before you are now able to say, oh, I've given myself a new t-shirt, let me get a new t-shirt for my neighbor. But not that you will
it
get
will
t-shirt
not
for your
help
neighbor
you.
and go naked. That's
No,
not
it will
the
not help you.
commandment.
See the what do I use? No, I keep telling people it's not my language. See the connecting points there. Or let me say, I don't know if that's right English now, Nasabi. But the point is this: if you love yourself enough and you want to get that t-shirt for yourself, for instance, you know that you would like to have a nice t-shirt that is cool on the body, that will not later, we are using t-shirt as just an example, that will not
Yeah, of
later
course.
start forming one thing and be causing one sickness. I'm just trying to give
Mhm.
an example. It will make you that way. When you want to give to your neighbor, you will know that I won't give her something that will later be a problem to her. Let me give you an example. See what I mean? For
Mhm.
instance, now, maybe I want to employ a manager for myself, or I want to employ a cook.
Mhm.
Because I want to employ that cook for myself, I'm looking for a good cook because I love myself. I don't want a cook that will come and do anyhow. So because I love myself enough, I'll look for a good one. The same way now, if you, Viv, now comes and tell me, Maskey, please, can you help me get a cook? I will not now go up the street and pick up anybody and send to you because it's not me. Because I love
Mhm.
you the way I love myself, I will still go out of my way to look for a good cook. I don't want you to get into trouble. You see what I mean?
True
When I
that.
say, you understand, when you love
Mm.
yourself and love the other person as you love yourself, you will see there are things that you'll be mindful in your relationship with
Seriously.
that person. You'll be mindful.
Mhm. Yeah, that's very, very true. That's very, very, it's
Yeah.
about just balancing life out, you know, don't overdo to the left, not overdo to the left. Just let there be a balance that I love me and I love my neighbor, not that I love my neighbor and I do not love me. We have
Oh,
to,
I now love myself too much, but my neighbors,
yeah. And
and that's why that's us.
another thing that I want to bring out is that sometimes people feel guilty when they love themselves. You understand? They feel that they are meant to be good to everybody
It's an
else
see what is going on here. It's an
over and
orientation.
above themselves.
It's an orientation. I don't want to use the word wrong, but it's an orientation that
Mhm.
the kind of Christianity they brought to us and brought in a lot of sentiments,
Hmm.
over sentiments in our mindset that sometimes you're
Mhm.
doing the right thing, yet you're feeling guilty doing the right thing.
Hmm.
Do you get the point I'm
Hmm.
trying to make?
Exactly.
That's the issue. It's an orientation and it's a very long. I don't know how that thing came about. It's like you're trying to, like, for instance, you go to a public place to get services, the services is not being rendered, and you're trying to tell them that it's something, and they're like, this person, can't you see she's an elderly woman, she's not feeling fine. If you're not feeling fine, then you don't come to work.
True
So
that.
when you're now, it's such a thing, because you love yourself and you don't want to stand in line for 10 hours and be waiting for nothing, you now maybe approach them and say, this is the way this thing should be done. Don't be jumping the queue and giving the people you know. So I'm giving you an example.
Yes.
Society makes it look like you are the person wrong because you're not falling into the sentiment. It's starting a sentiment, it's a mindset.
Yes.
Do you get
Yes.
understand? So
You
love
know,
yourself enough to know when to put your feet down and say, no, you don't treat me like that.
absolutely. You just know the time to react and say, I've had it.
Don't treat me like
You
a
know,
piece of trash. This is not how you treat a human being. Refuse it.
absolutely.
That's loving yourself. Don't allow the sentiment. Our Nigerian system now.
And you
I
say,
don't say an elderly woman.
you
It's an
are,
elderly woman doesn't mean you should treat me unfairly.
yeah. And they will say that you don't pass this one now. You pass this one.
Mhm.
When somebody will come and hit your car and then
Yeah, and
purpose
intentionally. hit your car, you're
intentionally
stealing
hit
your
your
gift.
car, and then
Mhm.
they are making you feel like you are being a bad
Okay,
person by
let's not use the word intent. Let's say carelessly. Carelessly
exactly.
hit you. And maybe it has happened to me. I know you're trying to, you're both of you are going, you're trying to, you're honking, you're showing signs, let him see me, and it's like he doesn't care, and he hits your car, and you say, okay, pay for the damages. They come and start saying, look, you make it look like you're a bad person. No, love
They will
yourself enough
say
to put your feet down and say
they will
no.
tell you you don't pass that one. It has
Mm.
happened to me a few times. Anyway, let's take the next answer, please. Can we have the next answer?
Give him a minute. You know all this. You know our network now. You know how it is in that it's always slow.
All right. Gold BDDBA says, if I could go back 10 years, I would tell my younger self to forgive sooner. Love unconditionally and never take relationships for granted. Time is short and people are precious.
This
Talkative
is
Aki.
this is deep. This
Mhm.
is this is deeper than the deepest.
Yeah.
This one is deep. And honestly, the part that gets me is the part where he said that you don't take relationships for granted and you
True.
forgive more.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. You see, Evi, forgiveness is not about the other person. Oh.
No, not at all.
It's about you. It's
Absolutely.
about you, your own inner peace. That's part of the self love I'm talking about. Love yourself enough to let go and be free. You
True.
get the point? Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's not about the forgiveness is not really about the other person. It's about
It has nothing,
me,
it has very little to do with the other person. Very, very little.
little. And
Yeah,
when he said, and don't take relationships for granted because this life is too short. If you
it
love
is.
people, show them you love them. Don't
Mm-hmm.
wait for them to buy and you start crying. No, show
And
love
then be living in regret.
later. When you
Yeah,
have somebody's in need and there's a way you can help, no matter how small, render that help. Not when something happens later you start crying. No, no. I see some places where somebody is alive asking for help, he doesn't get the help. Then when he passes on or she passes on, people are crying, people are contributing money for a burial, and I'm like, why didn't you do all these monies? Maybe if the person had gotten that help, maybe they
when
wouldn't
they
have
were
passed.
there. Yeah, that's
They
true.
wouldn't have passed and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
love more, forgive more. I
forgive
see
more.
places where families, there's family member don't speak to each other. It spills over to the next generation, and you're like, what are you? I'm like, what are you guys even thinking in your head?
I know. It
You
happens.
know?
And I was reading a story just this morning, and this person was obviously had worked in an organization, and he took ill. They were supposed to be paying him certain amounts and all of that, and they didn't pay him for 2 years. So this guy had been writing letters and sending and all that. So one of the days, one of the managers just said, let me see some of these old letters. And when he opened it, he saw that this person had been writing for years, asking for his payment, not
Mhm.
assistance, just his own payment. Lesson. Nobody opened the letters. Nobody, in fact, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, he went by himself to visit with these people. He called the person's number a few times. Nobody picked. Eventually, somebody picked. It was the guy's wife, and that guy, the wife told what has happened and how they even blocked their line, that they are not able to call the office and reach the office anymore. So this manager, apart from assisting them as much as he could, came back to investigate. It turns out that one of the staff in that office, who is very close to this guy, who knows the guy's condition, was signing out the guy's money and dying the money. It's
Hey,
just embezzling the
buying the
money.
money.
you
Mm.
know so in embezzling the money, at the end of the day, this guy was so sick, he had liver issues, no money to do anything. The guy even as at the they took the company took him to hospital, that he didn't survive it, but before he died, at least he was able to recover a little bit. The wife even felt like the wife sent message to thank the company and all that. But what I'm trying to bring out in this is it was a friend that was sitting on this guy's money. Why would you do that? So these are people who do not take relationship seriously. Why we're saying love yourself, it is not love yourself in that manner. That is wickedness. You understand? You have to, be considerate of people. And then again, this is this person's entitlement. Are we now going to say, oh, it is T-Pain that did this one to us or that one? This one is we doing to ourselves as well. Yeah. So while I understand what this guy is saying, in saying that love people, do not take people for granted and all that. And this one even led to the buying of this fellow staff. Anyway,
people don't understand that taking relationship for granted is very vast. I think we're going to do a video on that, because people don't understand what it means to take a relationship for granted. When you do certain things, you don't even think of the effect of this thing on this person. How will this thing pan out for this person I call my friend? Just like the story you just told now. You're not even thinking, you're so selfish that you're not thinking, how is this person going to cope without this entitlement? How is his life going to be? Put yourself in that person's shoes for 1 quick second. That's why I always ask that. I always make that statement when I have issues, or when I'm talking to people about stuff. I always say, can you put yourself in this person's position for close your eyes
for a minute,
for 1 quick second, 1 quick minute? That will help you. That will bring your mindset to a place where you will understand there are certain lines you shouldn't cross.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you for that answer. I think it was, I don't know what's the name of the guy again, but thank you for that answer. Can we get the next?
I don't know how to say the last name.
Yeah. Can we get the next answer too, so that we can?
Let's do one more, yeah, and I thought we had one more.
Can we get the next answer, please? One more answer. Okay. Anyway,
let's wait for him. He will get many edits, so he can take out all these places. You get?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not live. He can take out all this space. You know. He'll just clip it, and take it out, and continue from when he's able to put up the answer.
Okay.
Henry, what's happening now? Give us the last answer.
Okay. So Selena Blessing says, if I could go back 10 years, I would change the way I handled certain relationships. It still comes back to relationships. I'll be more open, honest, and communicative with the people I care about. I will tell them how much they mean to me, and I will listen more to what they have to say. I would also take more risks and pursue opportunities that I was too afraid to try. I will travel more, learn new skills, and explore different passions. Talkative Maskey.
Wow. Okay, she's not even, there's still more to go.
Oh, there's more. But most importantly, I will be kinder to myself, self-love, and I will focus on progress, not perfection. I will celebrate my achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Overall, I believe that the past decade has shaped me into the person I am today, and I am grateful for the experiences, lessons, and relationships that have helped me grow, thereby making me a better version of myself. All righty.
In as much as I have some reservations about this answer, because it looks a little bit like a little bit of AI came into it, but that's fine. In my own opinion, I may be wrong, but the point is, what I like about this answer is it's like it brings all the answers together.
Together. That's true.
It brings all it brings self-love. It brings not taking relationship for granted. It brings,
Mm-hmm.
most importantly, it brings the thing that we always talk about here: clear, honest, concise communication
Consent
in relationship.
through that. Mm-hmm.
It brings it. She just brings everything together. That's what I
Yes.
just like
It's
about
like a
it.
summary of everybody's answer is in
Yes,
her own. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. So she even talks about when you fall, about getting up, you don't have to stay there. She just brings everything. She or
Mhm.
he, I don't even remember. But I'm sorry about that. But I think sometimes names don't really tell you the gender. So she brings, the writer brings the like, I don't know how to say, like, brings everything we talk about on this platform. In fact, do you understand?
Absolutely.
Self-love, good communication, honest
Mm-hmm.
communication, open communication, pushing on, resilience, everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She really did. She really did a good one. Putting everything together.
Put
Yeah.
together.
You
Yeah.
know. That was
Oh
well.
God.
We most of the things she has said we have analyzed already, and we have spoken
Yes, that's
about
why I don't want to
already.
start like it. Exactly.
There's no reinventing the wheel here. Okay, so
So
I
guys,
think that will be it for
mhm,
this particular episode. Being able to analyze that uh,
survey question
survey question and
and
putting it
answer.
together. So thank you, Maskey, for joining. Anything you want to say lastly before we go?
Now, as always, guys, love yourselves.
All righty, bye, guys. See you next
Bye.
time.
See you soon.
Everybody come around, come around, come around. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk. Talkative Duo series. Maskey and Viv, let's talk the talk.